Hey guys, what's up? Blacker Bricks here, back with another video, and as you can probably hear already, I am using a different mic today. So if it's really loud, you can hear me breathing and everything, and it's not good, let me know. If it is good, also let me know. So today in this video, what I wanted to discuss is my process as a mock builder. Now, I know in the past this channel has focused fairly heavily on Bricklink selling and stuff like that. So I completely understand that it'll take a while for me to grow my channel and for this sort of content to be interesting for everyone. But for the time being, this is something I want to pursue, so here I am sharing it with you. So first, let me actually show you the finished product. I know this is sort of a weird way of going about it, but this is the project that I'm discussing. This is actually submitted for the Lego Ideas contest that's currently running. We love sports. I actually haven't ever submitted a entry in a contest before, so I kind of wanted to try it out, see how it goes. Anyways, so it is a life-size tennis racket. You can see I have a blue one, a red one, and then a tennis ball. And here I have a couple of product shots. So really, it just takes a closer look at all of the angles. And I have to be honest, I am super glad how this came out. I spent a really long time, roughly I think 8 to 10 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. It was a challenging project, that is for sure. Let me see one thing real quickly. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I'm really glad with that. So let me just walk you through the entire process, right? I think you can really break it down into 5 steps. I'd say the first step would be deciding what you want to build. And don't get me wrong, that's sometimes the hardest part of the build is deciding. After that, the next part is research and pretty much sketching. Sketching and research I'd count as the same step, where you just want to start planning it all out. Then I'm just going to walk through the steps before I actually go into it. Then the third step is going to pretty much be first design. So you just start getting started, you're measuring, you're doing all sorts of stuff like that. Then your fourth step is going to be the biggest portion, which is going to be designing. So this is where you're going to design again and again. You're going to show it to people, you are going to measure everything, you are going to see how it looks and improve. This is often the most challenging. And then the fifth is the refinement stage. So take maybe a day or two off of the project. Sometimes when you're really into a project, you'll lose sight. So you need to step back for a day or two and then re-look at it. Maybe you'll get a new idea. And here, then you want to render your images. You want to build it in real life, whatever you do at the end of your projects. And yeah. So let me walk through it for me. So I knew for this contest, I wanted to do something obviously related to a sport I enjoy. So personally, tennis is one of my favorite sports. I spent a lot of time playing tennis last year. So I thought it would make sense. I knew it, I mean, when I went into this project, I thought it was going to be very simple, right? I mean, it's a life-size tennis racket. It's nothing that huge, so simple enough. So the first thing I actually did is I tried to make a tennis ball. So I'll actually show you my first rendering. This was the very first one. As you can see, I mean, honestly, it's not that different, so I won't say it's terrible. There was a piece missing over here, and the pattern was all right. It wasn't the best. What I actually changed is I made it more of the classic tennis ball pattern, where it's like sort of wavy. Here, I just did one side, so that was a bit of an issue. This was also my first rendering of the handle. Actually, I'll show you the studio file as well. That's where I worked on this entire project. So in the beginning, what I had done is this was brown, first of all, reddish brown. I did not have the curvature down at the bottom. So as you can see in a real tennis racket, if I just pull up an image real quick, tennis racket handle. So I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with tennis, but I guess some of these are bad examples. But in general, at least the rackets I've played with have a bit of curvature at the bottom, so it kind of stops it at the bottom. So that's really what I wanted to achieve with these slopes over here. Now, in this first one, I did not do that. I tried actually to create the Wilson logo. As you can see, is upside down right now, but I attempted to. It was sort of challenging because I really only had this very small space, so I kind of scrapped that idea and moved on. The other issue with this was that to connect the plates, I needed this brick. So I kind of just grabbed that idea fairly quickly, and I went with this. Now, this was actually fairly challenging. I used a sort of interesting technique. I think this might be legal. I'm not actually 100% sure. I'll just take it off real quick so you can see exactly what I did. So, oops. Let me just take that off. All right, so what I did is I actually connected a headlight brick to a one by one with stud. So I connected this, and I'll just pull out the entire thing just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So this is it. So it's really three pieces actually. If you break it down, we have a 1x1 brick we have a headlight brick, then we have a second headlight brick kind of lying down, and then a Technic brick with a hole. So when you combine all of those and you put it in, it has bricks facing down and bricks facing up, and it only takes up one brick high. So it's almost a perfect solution for a nice sleek build. And that was very important to me. I wanted to make sure it was tiled and angled, right? So a tennis racket handle has 8 faces, one in all directions, so it's sort of octagonal, and that was definitely challenging, but it was one of the easiest parts because I knew how it would work, and it was very easy to translate this into Lego because Lego is quite blocky and solid. So that was the easiest part of the build by far. I actually walked through all of this on my Flickr. Let me see if I can pull that up. Maybe that'll help me talk about it. Let's see. So the handle, yeah. All right. So the next part I actually designed in this build was the head. So the head is the little oval shape up over here. And another thing I would say when it comes to designing MOCs is in a lot of ways it's very similar to writing. Now, I know this is completely different from what I normally talk about, but I feel that writing is also quite challenging. It's a creative process, and one big suggestion for many upcoming writers is write what you know, right? I mean, if you are a high school student, right, living in China, maybe writing about Vikings in the 10th century is not the best idea, right? Because it's something so far away from you that it's not even relatable or maybe even interesting, right? So write what you know. What's your experience as a high school student in China? Like, what does that mean for you? So when it comes to Lego designing, design what you're very confident with first. It might be some really weird or specific random part in the middle of the build, but go ahead. Because if you design something that's way too challenging for you, you will lose motivation, and that's the worst thing that can happen. This build was extremely frustrating, and I'll get to that in a bit. The handle came very quickly to me. I mean, obviously, it was not a first try thing, right? It took a while, maybe 30, 40 minutes, but it's not something that you're struggling for day in and day out. Now, the oval was actually kind of a challenge because I wasn't sure how I would create an oval shape online, right? I mean, in person, it's a bit easier when you have the pieces in front of you, but I was kind of confused. So it came to me fairly quickly that all of the different hinge, which is actually what I used, just a ton of these hinge pieces. So all of those, the angles have to add up to 360, right, to create a circle. Now, with an oval, it's the same principle. The only difference is that the angles have to be different. So all the angles over here and here were 5 degrees. So I multiplied, added it, and then these were actually 10 degrees. So that creates a very, very nice oval shape. And I'll be honest, I did get sort of lucky that this came to me fairly quickly. I was also glad that I had a tennis racket and tennis ball so I can measure everything constantly. Now, it is a bit off scale. I'm not going to say this is perfectly to scale. It's not. It's fairly close. The other really cool part where I did get lucky is that I found these hose pieces which are in the perfect sizes. So they're all, I think they're about 5-6 different sizes in here. As you can see, the strings all need to be different sizes. And I had to make them the perfect length so they wouldn't stick out or they wouldn't go in too much. So that was another challenge that I faced. I also ended up adding these newer studs with the hole. They both look good and they help as structure. So ones that are a bit too short, they have a bit of extra length. So yeah, I thought that looked pretty good. And I actually also tiled it up at the top towards the end. Now, this was the most challenging part of the build. I know it might not seem like anything that complicated or even attractive, to be honest, but connecting the handle to the racket head was so frustrating. I either found, I mean, to be honest, it was almost impossible to even connect it at first. Like, I had no way of connecting it. After that, I just wanted it to look somewhat realistic and attractive. Sturdiness was not even like a big priority to me, to be honest, because I spent so much time on this. I was just like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter to me how sturdy it is, as long as this just gets done at this point. I know that's not the best attitude to have, but I guess I'm just changing a couple colors real quick. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it turned out fairly good. Let me know what you guys think of these rackets as well. It is challenging because this handle design took me 5 hours to get to, so that's crazy amount of time. In the end, I think, yeah, I mean, it turned out really good. I'm super happy with how these pictures came out. I did a couple crazy colors for fun, and yeah. So I hope this provides a little bit of insight into my process. I know this isn't the most attractive video, right? I was thinking about shooting some B-roll and making a bit more of an interesting, but I kind of want to make this quick. I will almost definitely make another one of these videos in the future, and that'll be more of a real-time progress thing. I haven't done that in a while. I remember I used to release the castle progress video. Oh man, those were fun. I haven't done one of those videos in a really long time though. Let's see. Lego castle progress. May 2020. Wow, that was a while ago. Crazy stuff. Oh, that was when my hair was really short. Now it's the opposite. Alright, well, I think this video is getting kind of long. As always, leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns. I guess I will also leave the link to this project or contest if you're interested in submitting or supporting mine. I guess it doesn't really matter because in the end it's up to them. But thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.